now I'm excited because Rachel, this is her first time on Portals to Ascension, and I'm excited to bring her on. Rachel Otto is the founder of Way Chill Life LLC, a place created to teach individuals about love at the highest level. She teaches that spirituality is an integral part of everyday life. Living a balanced life also allows for self-love and expansion. Through her decades of spiritual studies and varied techniques at her disposal, she has found a way that will raise your awareness of your mind and body. She is the first Dan Master, Rainbow Reiki, and licensed Angelic healer, as well as being certified in other energy healing and sound modalities. She's enjoyed lecturing and teaching across the United States. Rachel's conducted more than 8,000 individual healing sessions, in addition to leading many private groups. So let's go ahead and bring you on, Rachel. All right.
Hello.
Hey, Rachel. Good to
Yay.
see you. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me today. I
Very
am
welcome.
so grateful to be here, and the speakers have been phenomenal, fantastic. I can't help but get up and down and start screaming, yes! It is here. I am wearing my blue dragons,
Nice.
and
Oh, that's epic.
so yes, the blue dragons are here, and not only are the blue dragons here, but so is the Delphi.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
and she was brought up earlier in our lecture. She was a piece that was made for me. I
Uh-huh.
collected some stones, and a beautiful artisan, Cat Consciousness, actually named her and made her the Delphi. So we
Beautiful.
are.
Is that shaped into something in particular?
It is a piece of granite.
Uh-huh.
I'll read you her true history. I come into this third dimension form to assist with healing and clarity for all who require me. My physical form has been transposed onto the surface of an ancient granite shard. My eye is blue coffee dragon vein agate. Buffalo skin acts as my eyelids. Purple amethyst adorn my eyelashes and nostrils. Calphorite brings color to my throat. My blaze is selenite and gypsum crystal point from Australia. My horns are black kyanite fans. My scales are blue and golden tiger eye chips. My crown is blue tiger eye nuggets. I am here.
Wow. That's poetry right there.
Yes,
I
yes.
love it.
So if you have any questions, you can just ask
All right.
one of our physical forms of our dragons here.
Hmm. Well, I'm excited that you're here. Thank you for being here, and we're ready to receive. So go ahead.
Oh, well, I thought I'd give you a little bit of history of my interactions with dragons. I started studying dragons in 2011 under Walter Lubick through Rainbow Reiki and Angelic Healing. And I remember my first meditation where we called the dragons in. And for me, it was all of the sensors, the senses, and I could smell the dragon. The first dragon that came to me was cardamom, and it sparkled and it shimmered and it covered me in its love. And ever since then, I have had an infinity of dragons and have been following their history, we'll say their current history. I was fortunate enough to go to a beautiful meditation that was done by Archangel Michael in Desert Hot Springs. That's right. Archangel Michael has embodied in the human form, and he told stories. Well, she now told stories of opening the original portals back in 2008 to release the dragons onto this plane to begin our ascension process, to help us explode into what we are supposed to become: love. So, ever since I've got this little taste, it's all that I really think about. So, just for a moment, I'd like to tie in all the lectures in together, but from a different perspective. What if, what if the dragons actually are the purest form of angels? What if the dragons are part of the top three hierarchy of the classic historical way that we looked at angels through art, through different religions, where we were called them the seraphim, the cherubim, and the thrones. If you look in our historical documents and things that don't exist, this is what were considered angels are dragons. They're actually high frequency beings. So I'm only saying things that we keep talking about, but I'm going to try to put it in a modern perspective and throw in a little science. I know, it's crazy. I was taught just exactly as it was brought up in the beginning with Flo, that the Big Bang Theory is actually divine love coming around divine love was here and divine consciousness surrounded it and made that egg. And when it broke out into that double form, that's where you have that Vesca Pisces. That's where we have that egg shape we keep talking about. That's where those 12 creator beings came from. The 12 creator beings are the closest to source and are the dragons. So this is that whole beginning point of everything is dragon energy. It is energy of love and of light and of consciousness. So when we see this dragon energy and we see and feel all of this energy, it's because it's from that original source, that original boom. So I was taught that these high beings, these high dragon energy is too much for us to handle in human form. And that makes sense because just for a moment, what if dragon energy could be described in science through the electromagnetic spectrum? That would make the seraphim and the cherubim and the thrones the highest beings that are closest to source, the beings of light, angels. That would make them gamma rays, X-rays, and ultraviolet rays. Oh, wait a minute. That's what the sun's made out of. Is that not what the central sun, Helios, is all about? So then if we continue with our electromagnetic spectrum of understanding dragons or angels, then we go to the visible light spectrum. Then we have kind of our main group that we would understand. Black light, indigo, yellow beings, which all have dragon forms that we've all talked about here today. Those used to be known as the dominions, the virtues, and the powers. Okay, so visible light, meaning we can perceive them. They're the colors of the rainbow, basically. Colors of your quartz, your gemstones, so that we can actually perceive them and we can have a little bit more communication with them. They can help us understand a little more. Then when we go to the next part of the spectrum, that's when we get into more longer waves of frequency, longer energy. And that's where we have, let's see, infrared rays, white light, and radio waves. That would be considered guardian angels, archangels, because they're the closest to the earth. Just like we have to tune in our body, like we tune in the radio, we can tune into the frequencies of different dragons or beings of light. I believe that they come out in the dragon shape because that's what energy looks like. Haven't y'all seen lightning and long energy waves? That's what the dragons are. They are high frequency, conscious, love beings. And I gotta give my high five to everybody out here who's already speaking because I hope that I'm tying them all in together. Sarion said that he calls them love dragons. And I was jumping up and down because they are. Love, divine love, is the energy of everything. Divine love is what dragon energy is. That's it. Now, it can have different levels and different forms, just like different colors of the rainbows, just like different gemstones, well, just like different people. They have all kinds of energy that can help us. And it might have been JJ or somebody else that talked about how the black, excuse me, maybe it was Carla, that they had the black dragon energy that they were working with seemed to be divine feminine, but then they worked with another that wasn't. Just like people, they all carry all of the energy, but you need to request or define what it is that you're looking for when you work with dragons. And I believe, well, you don't have to, but I believe that in the creation of the beginning of time, that all of our oversouls, which is higher than our higher selves, our oversouls are the dragons, are the original energy of the universe. Because we are co-creators of God, or source, or all, or whatever you want to call it. So here's this great big massive infinite ball of divine love energy, and we're just a droplet of it. We're a droplet of the main dragon. We can all have our soul energy lineage back to a specific dragon of those 12 creator beings that we spoke about earlier. Isn't that cool? All of us. And what's even more cool to me is that the dragon energy isn't just human or Syrian or Arcturian, it's all of our extraterrestrial otherworldly beings. They all come from the same energy that we do. Why do I know this? I've spent a couple, maybe too long, with a couple of the Anunnaki and some of the Syrians too, and I get it now. They all are of the same source of energy that we are. And we brought about this up earlier about how does time, are we them or they them? Or are we us? Or is that what we're going to become? It's the thrones. It goes back to the wheel, the great spear of life, that magical wheel. There is no linear. It's all happening right now. It's being created, it's being expanded out. Right now, in the same moment that I'm speaking, we are existing as other beings at the same time. All right, I know, a little bit too much. Calm down, Rachel. Parallel universes. Let's focus back. But it's happening all at once. And that's what happens when we step into our hearts and we acknowledge that we are the co-creators with the dragons, that we are the dragons. And that when we use their energy, when we ask for their guidance, when we ask for their help, they were right when earlier they said they'll help with parking. Of course they will. They're just another form of angels. They are already on this plane and they have always been here. Earlier today, someone said that you could see how they carved the landscapes. I have gone into meditations and I've watched the dragons build the mountains. They are us, we are them. And it is all divine love. I'm also going to throw another little crazy thought in here. We do talk about that Kundalini energy rising up, that serpent energy. What if it's just divine consciousness that's already within our brain? That little bit of that crystal oil going down our spine, that's divine consciousness. In my little world, those are the two most important energies, divine love and divine consciousness. When you have the two of them, there's nothing else that you need, because everything else, well, it just flows out. It's gratitude, it's happiness, it's being who you are. So when you work with dragon energy, all you have to do is ask in your heart. This is your communication center. Your zenith chakra, which is what I call your high crown chakra. You know, we talk about our high heart chakra. Well, you got a high crown chakra. I call it your zenith chakra back here. This little baby back here in your brainstem connects your brain to your heart. And just like the Egyptians taught us, we have brain stem cells here in our heart. So it's through our heart, through love, that we are connected to these high energy angelic beings. And I do mean high energy. And I was so stoked to hear the story about the burning bush with Moses because I had that dream 2 weeks ago, and they showed me that the burning bush was just a dragon. Again, it's a being of light. And sometimes the form is just so intense that we can't handle it on earth. And that's the way it was translated. So that's why when you see angels, they're translated with wings, right? Because they couldn't say flying or floating, they didn't understand it. And it's the same with the burning bush. That was the greatest communicator to source, dragons. I was also taught that the dragons, it's not fire coming out of their mouth, it's compassion. They burn with compassion. They have so much love that when they eat you, when they burn you with their love, it's a transformative purification through divine love. Divine love. That's all it is. And they have the greatest knowledge for us. And it's about anything you want to know. I will tell you, I've worked with some of the strongest, craziest dragons. They do not understand our finances. Don't ask them for lottery numbers. Don't ask them to help you pay your bills. That means nothing to them. They do not understand human finances. A couple of them have come to this plane to try to understand it better, and there's still a disconnect. So when you're talking to a higher dragon through your heart, and you're asking for healing help, when you're asking for guidance, you're asking for whatever, because they want to help, and they will only help if you ask. They will only help if you ask. You have to think about how you can't say, how can I get some more money? I need to be more abundant. I want a new Corvette. You say stuff like, I need help getting health. I need my health taken care of. I need to would you provide me with abundance? Would you make sure that I have shelter? Would you make sure that there's food on my plate? You have to kind of make it more basic because there's a few things on our plane that it's not that they don't understand. I don't think they care to understand money. But that's a whole nother story because I do believe that we are going to move to a day towards free society because there's really enough for everybody. But that's just my little soapbox on the future. So back to our fantastic high frequency friends, the dragons. Now, sometimes the best way to get to a dragon is through meditation, and I'm going to say it, in nature. Now, I have been to some fantastic, magical, super cool sites. And you know what? Doesn't really matter. Go into your backyard. Every piece of land is sacred. We tend to forget that. We kind of think that we have to go into the pyramids or that we have to go somewhere to make it special. But you're special. You have the energy to do this. You can create what is sacred because you're sacred. It's in your heart. So open it up and be the vortex. Be the portal. I said it. You can do it. And it doesn't have to be on a special day. It doesn't have to be on the full moon or an eclipse or when you are able to stand on your head or when you're a certain weight. It happens when you, in your heart, Step in there and acknowledge that you are a co-creator in this plane and that you are perfect as you are created. And then all of a sudden, the connections start to go. And then before you know it, you see the sparkle of, well, of the dragons. Silver dragon often comes to me. And I know when silver dragon's around me because I get this extra little sparkle. I can see it out of my peripheral. And golden dragon loves to hang out. They just kind of want to know what's going on. And a few times I've gone up into the higher, into the 12th dimension. And that's when, in meditation, the best way to think about going into meditation into higher dimensions or to other realms is sometimes in the higher ones, we're the ghosts. We're the spirits that are kind of sneaking around and perceiving things and watching things. They can see us too, but we're the ones that are kind of undercover. And just to sit in that energy. So, one of the things I would like to teach you today, and it's so cool because they already started talking about this. Again, I'm just hoping that I can weave everybody's little talk together here, is we're going to do a dragon's breath. And the dragon's breath, well, I think this is why I couldn't sleep last night, because I too have this strange sore throat out of nowhere. So the dragon's breath is something that even if today was your first day that you got involved with dragon energy, or that your first time that you're experiencing this divine love and this divine consciousness, you still can do this. There's no prerequisites. That's the groovy thing about all of this that's coming with the age of Aquarius. It's for everybody. All right, so these are just a few tips about doing what I call dragon's breath. It does work the best if you can align your spine. Again, this goes back to that Kundalini rising that we've been talking about. I like to call it divine consciousness. It's also known as Buddha's consciousness, Christ's consciousness, Krishna's consciousness. It's that divine conscious light energy. Well, a little bit of Metatron in there too. That sacred geometry that just comes down through your crown. And remember how we got to let it go all the way down our spine. And on a side note here, once again, the speakers were brilliant already, because everybody reminded you that we may have to make sure that you're grounded before you do this type of work. And it is true, we are of earth. So all you really have to do is put your feet flat on the ground, or make sure that you're connected into the earth. I've found through my travels and my journeys, the further you go up is the more that you're grounded into the earth, grounded into yourself, knowing who you are. If you can ground down, then you don't float away too much and get too space cadet-y. All right, back to the dragon's breath. So we're sitting straight up so we can allow that Kundalini energy, that conscious energy to come down. And imagine your crown opening up, and you're inviting in those great dragons. So the Lemurian term is Chesni Maitrion Dihi Valian the Wind, Chesni Maitrion Dihi Valian the Wind, Chesni Maitrion Dihi Valian the Wind. And you feel that great dragon energy. Now, you don't have to say any mantra. You don't even have to say any word, because we're in a new age. And it's time for us to make new paradigms, new energy. So you say whatever you want to say, as long as the intentions are pure and your heart is open. I invite down the dragon energy to come in me. That's it. I invite down the dragon energy to come in me. Oh, and you can feel it. And as you have that spine and you open your crown and you invite it in, I want you to take 3 deep breaths, but not a normal breath. I want you to take a spiral breath. It's that spiral energy in the Reiki symbol. It's the spiral energy that you see in a lot of the old paintings and hieroglyphs. And I want you to feel that spiral energy. So you would breathe it in and feel that spiral energy going clear down to the tips of your toes. And we'll take in 3 breaths. And you feel that spiral energy building in your hara or your Danchin point. This is located 2 fingers below your belly button. And as you take that spiral breath in, feel that energy building there. And now that we have our crown open, our back straight, and we've brought in that energy, if there is, say that somebody has a broken bone in front of you, say that you have a photograph of a place that you want to clear, whatever your intentions are, they say to think it in your mind. I'm finding that if you actually say it out loud, it's even more powerful. So my crown is open, I brought in my breath, and now I'm going to say, I would like to have my dragon's breath go to whoever hears these words. Feel the energy of divine love. And then you breathe it out. It's that deep breath that comes from within. And if you got a sound with it, groovy. Go with it. You can take that breath and you can breathe it onto broken bones and watch it heal. I've seen sores close up. I've watched people take that breath and shake off those shadows or the lower frequency entities that come into your system. It's a great way to clear off people too. If you don't have maybe if you don't have any San Paulo or any clary sage, use the dragon's breath to clear the space, to clear the room. It can do anything. It can even start your car if the battery's dead. Honest, it did it for me. That's another thing about dragon energy. It is not limited. Dragon energy is unlimited, meaning it understands that everything is a vibration, even if we as humans don't. So this computer, the phone that you're on, it has its own frequency. And there's a dragon for it. It may not be a dragon that you and I communicate with, but our higher dragons can communicate with it and help it. It can energize it. It can resolve small issues. I'm goofy in the fact that I believe that my purpose is to work in retail, is to work in what I would call the real world, in the 3rd dimensional world, to help bring love and light there into an area that may not be so much, right? So I talk to the register. I talk to the mannequins. I talk to all of the electronics around me, and I talk to its higher guides and to its dragon energy because it exists within there. Again, it's not as high frequency as, say, Archangel Michael or, Metatron in their dragon form. I mean, we really can't even perceive that, or we're going to go, and we'll just disappear. Because when you get too close to a dragon in their purest form, all you want to do is go back to your purest form. So that's when you go, because you just go back to oneness in like instant oneness. Anyway, I know I'm jumping topics. Dragons are here to assist this plane to understand divine love. Divine love is not what we have been taught for the past 2,000 years. Divine love is not outside of us, it is within us. And if there's anything that you've taken from this conference or even from my silly lecture right now, is that I hope that you understand that you have the capability of talking to any being of light, any form of angelic, any extraterrestrial, otherworldly being that you want to do. All you have to do is find the confidence within yourself. Align your chakras. Yes, it does help if you eat properly and drink a lot of water. Alcohol is fine on your birthday, but drinking it every day is gonna mess with your system and it's not gonna give you the clarity you need. You are capable of feeling, smelling, and understanding the dragons and their energy just by being you. You have amazing speakers here, amazing resources to go and get connected in learning higher ways to expand within yourself, of finding different ways to communicate, of understanding that you are in control of the weather, of the world, of the collective consciousness. And isn't it gonna be awesome when we all feel that unified love within our heart? When we get into this moment and understand that that mycelium that's underground that connects all the plants and animals is the same mycelium in outer space, that string theory that connects us all, and that it is the great dragon energy that helped in the creation of the universe. What you call space, I call the great void dragon. I think it's a dragon. The dominions who keep everything in order on the angelics are just giant dragons. They're kind of like web designers. They have to keep readjusting what's going on because our planet has free will, and because Bob over here decides to do something against his free will, that these Dominion dragons or the ultraviolets, they have to realign everything back up so those of us who choose to stay on God's will or our will, because we are God, right? So it's your will. That's the trick with free will that nobody told you. They always said you got to do it's God's will, but you're the co-creator, so you're God, and so it's your will. That's the duality of free will, is going against your own will. I said it. Free will is going against your own will. All right. So we know in our heart we can connect. We know that we can bring in their energy and pull it out. We know that we can ask for help in everything that we do. And we can see the dragons. How can we see the dragons? Well, I've seen them in direct sunlight in my peripheral. When I've gotten different initiations in pitch black spaces, when you meditate, you can actually see their energy floating through. I've taken photographs of them, of course, in the clouds and in lightning, but in plants and animals. It's energy. It's a vibration. It's sound. It's love. So, the dragons are you. We are the dragons. There are some dragons that are, it's not, they're calling them fierce. I'm going to say they are just so enlightened, so much more knowledgeable. They just, they figure there's enough people helping out with us petty humans that, we're everything and we're nothing. They just keep with the fact that we're nothing. You know what? That's cool because there's billions and billions of different types of dragons, or angels, or beings of light, or otherworldly beings. Doesn't matter how you call it, doesn't matter what you name it. It's the same energy that flows through everything. divine love, divine consciousness, and you already have it. You just forgot. So, I hope that I reminded you. I'm looking at my notes. I was going to give a minute to let the Golden Dragon channel, but I think their energy traveled through. I think enough words were said today and beautiful light codes given to you that just the energy emulating out of me is the Golden Dragons for you. Did I say that right? Okay, I got a couple nods, so I guess I did. My heart is open for you. I did write a lot of the stories in the first book, The Prophecy Map of Nova Gaia, and I channeled as Dragonheart. I did, yes. I love the fact that we were talking about Dragonheart and where it came from. And Dragonheart was the channel that I received in the first book. And my second book will come out in April. From Bourbon Street to the 12th Dimension, Finding Divine Love. And it is what I was talking about here. I go through and I explain all the dimensions and dragons and angels and understanding them in a modern perspective and trying to really explain that, well, love is the energy of everything. And when you boil down all the dragons, it is divine love and divine consciousness. And there it is. So I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. I hope that I did not disappoint. I brought in that flow, your joy.
No disappointment at all.
Yeah, you were vibing.
Complete epicness. Complete epicness, Rachel.
Oh,
Wow.
sorry. Little hot flash.
Oh my God.
I feel like we've all been uplifted by your presence and
Seriously.
energy.
Seriously, Rachel.
Yay.
You brought in the playful dragons.
Oh, well, I'm to remind everyone that it's joy, that we're joyful. Yeah. It's been a heavy conference. There's so much knowledge and information. It's been wow. And yes, this is part of the anchoring in of the 11th and 12th dimension. So you gosh, we are all doing major work right now. So, hey, a round of applause for all of you because you showed up.
Yeah.
Round of applause for you, Rachel. I feel like you just delivered your objectives through that presentation. I could feel it from the collective standpoint.
Oh, good. Oh, yes, I'm getting high fives. So I did what I was supposed to do.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I feel we've been peeling back layers, and there was also a heaviness. Flo and I were communicating just a while ago that we're feeling that we've tapped into something, which is an unresolved trauma through the universe when it comes to these dragon races and the reptilians. And like we both are feeling that, and what you just did there was completely get the lightning bolt right through all of that and take it back to the original source of what the intent was. We're here and we've created this epic tapestry of creation and experience so that we can have fun with creation. Right?
Yes, because again, we are the creators. So
yes,
let's create an awesome world. We're here to experience joy. That's what the dragons really reminded us. Yeah. That's why they created Earth. What's this joy?
Yes.
Let's have fun on Earth, yeah.
And that's where the creation comes from, that innocence, that play. That's how we entered this world. And Neo talked earlier how the dragons are connected to when we're birthed, right? And that's like the essence we entered in. So that just demonstrates that the dragons have a lot of this. And you were living proof because I saw golden dragons just flowing through your field. The whole time, like, whoa, the golden dragons are everywhere
right now. They've helped me immensely. And so the more that we can open these portals, the more that we can share this love, aren't we going to have an awesome world? We are.
Yes.
We are. And it's because of wonderful people, of your speakers, because of you, Neil, and because of you, Flo, because of all of us coming together. That's awesome to me.
Yeah. Aho.
Too. I love
Yep.
your shirt, by the way. I wanted to comment. That's like, you got the dragon vibes even in your fashion right now.
And like I said, I work in a third dimensional retail store that sells these shirts that
That's awesome.
it that I'm bringing divine love in ways that nobody would have thought that corporate America could handle.
Mm.
And we're changing policies. We're changing the way that we approach people. We're changing this because, well, of course, I have dreams of free society, but we have to work with what exists. So
100%.
Yeah, agree. So much beauty comes through you, Rachel. You just shared your beauty, your joy with all of us, and really, truly activated us all. See it in the comments in there. And I just feel it in my heart from your presence, from the way you convey everything you're doing. Appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here.
thank you, thank you, thank you. And I would look forward to do anything else to help
Oh,
Portal
yeah.
Ascension to
Oh, we're
keep
going to be
going.
working together for sure. No, this is just the beginning.
Awesome.
Take care, Rachel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.